GDC is coming, and it's BIG big. How's it, everybody? KiltClink here. We got another Dokkan Battle video for you here today. I wanted to take some time to break down the leading theory for the theme of this year's Global Dokkan Campaign, as this will kick off our prep campaign when we are just about 2 weeks out from the campaign. We know that the watch party for the campaign will occur on the 28th of this month, and there is... Obviously, we're going to have the countdown campaign just before that, but this watch party will also include a tie-in to the Community Day event and the reveal of the LRs, with them possibly jumping within, maybe 8 to 12 hours of then. So I wanted to take some time and break down what we could expect to see from that. So I have a couple bit of evidence that may suggest a certain formation of maybe the greatest GDC ever. So let's go ahead and let's hop on in, right? We know a couple of things about the upcoming GDC. We know that it will begin in September, right? Around the end of August, the 28th. Following a change in campaign schedule, the JP players had voted to revert the TDC campaign back to the July schedule, switching the Dokkan campaign to the September schedule. Now, I think there's a couple of reasons that they did this. Number one, not just because of player response, but because this is also going to be the 400 million download celebration. They mentioned this in the TDC campaign live stream, that Global Dokkan Campaign this year will be celebrating 400 million downloads, and it's a very, very huge milestone. Combine that with the fact that we know that when they announced this change back during February, they want to make this celebration big. They want to go big. And if they want to go big, it makes sense to do things the way they did in 10th anniversary year. So I imagine this year's Global Dokkan Campaign playing out in the same way that the year 10 did. That is, with 6 LRs spanning across the various campaigns of Dragon Ball Z. So we're going to break down the evidence we have to suggest that this is what's going to happen, right? So the three campaigns being Namek Saga, Buu Saga, and Cell Saga. So let's start with the first piece of evidence. First piece of evidence here comes from the updated pixel character changes. We are currently ending the month of July with the Goku Youth, right? Change, which followed his growth all the way up till he marries Chi-Chi, and then going into Goku and Gohan, which follows his growth up into the awakening on planet Namek through Saiyan Saga and Namek Saga. And then, of course, right, we follow all the way up to his growth at the end of Z, which follows Cell and Buu Saga. Normally, this doesn't mean anything. They change these out often, but never in any particular order. I think the fact that this is ordered may lean some credence to the fact that we may be tackling these arcs over the course of the next month as this character grows. So kind of crazy there. Add on to that, right, the Easy A's. There's only so many different Easy A's you can tackle, and we look at the major sagas that have availability to Easy A. We have things like Cell Saga covered. We have things like Buu Saga, Saiyan Saga. Others I don't think can really be touched yet, like the Worldwide's is straight out of the question. So we already know Future Saga, also being GDC last year, is probably straight out of the question. DB Saga, very doubt that that's going to tackle for GDC. So all that's left is Tournament of Power or GT. GT is out of the question because that was last year and it was anniversary. Tournament of Power, same thing. So where does that leave us? All right, with the only open holes. So that's another thing, and we'll talk about how they'll plug those in there. The final piece of evidence comes from this guy right here. Not necessarily this card, but this character. See, we know two things, right? There are a couple people floating out who have attended a play test of Dokkan Battle last year. I'm not going to call their names. I'm not going to say who they are out of respect for them and not to out them and get people to come after them. But we know that they attended this. And we know that when they attended this play test, they saw animations for both Kid Buu and for a new Namek Goku, not one that matches that tech Goku. So I can definitely see this happening. I can definitely say that we know that they work on these animations for a while, within a year of releasing. So if they saw these last year, there's a good chance that they were in preparation for a major celebration this year. And again, this assumes they're true. Take this with a grain of salt, as, I mean, we have no evidence until it happens that that is what they saw. But I tend to give people the benefit of the doubt. So if these guys we know attended and are saying that this is what they saw, then I'm inclined to give them a belief. Second, one of them tends to keep hinting at fated battles, which I think really leans into kind of the way I see them structuring this. The way I see them structuring this campaign, right? Rather than just saying, hey, here's the arcs from Z, I think they're going to structure it around the fated battles of Z. That is Goku and Frieza, Gohan and Cell, and Goku and Kid Buu, or right, Vegeta and Goku and Kid Buu. So those are the major kind of theories here. One other tie-in, I don't know that that's necessarily anything, but remember, Global hits its 4,000 days at this during this campaign, or just before this campaign as well. So Global can get the alternate art of this guy. So I mean, I don't think that that's nothing. I mean, it could be just a coincidence, but I mean, if it ties into here, like kind of crazy coincidence. So with that said, let's kind of break down how these campaigns are going to go, right? So I imagine Saiyan Saga will be covered as the countdown campaign, right? And that could be something simple as just, some missions, some events, right? Maybe the start of a red zone event, and then Easy A and the Gohan and Piccolo, right? We've already got a pretty decent Saiyan Saga team, so I don't imagine we're actually going to get any LRs from Saiyan Saga. As much as I would love it, right? I doubt that's going to happen, right? I mean, I would love them to go Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and Cell, or Goku and Vegeta, Goku and Frieza, and then Gohan and Cell. But I imagine like they would want to cover all of Z, right? So we are basing this off of the fact that I'm thinking this is going to be a 6LR celebration. And we'll talk about why that might not be so bad towards the end. So, right, first iteration will be obviously Goku and Frieza, right? So imagine, right, on the 28th, we do the watch party when we see a brand new Goku, right? Namek Saga Goku with those 11th anniversary original animations. So crisp, so clean. I can't wait. I'm imagining they're probably going to drop within a couple hours of that release too. So it's going to be pretty amazing. So of course, Namek Goku and Frieza would be his counterpart. Hopefully Final Form Frieza, since we already have full power Frieza, even if they want to go like transforming, starting as Final Form and then transforming into full power would also be kind of cool. In terms of easy A's for that part of the celebration, that's kind of hard because there's no Namek units, right? But they could easily justify, and this is why I keep going to Fated Battle, right? This is how you justify the Tanabata LR, who should be easy Aing here, into this. All right, you could easily tie it in by tackling the full power or Fated Battle of Fate aspect of it. So that kind of covers. What I would expect to see for the Namek portion. I don't think part 1 will be as big as parts 2 and 3, and just because there's more to work with parts 2 and 3. Now with parts 2, right, moving into the Cell Saga bit, I actually don't think we're going to get a new Gohan. We got a new Gohan last year for 10th anniversary. It's pretty standard stuff, but I mean, he left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, but their animation for the Father-Son Kamehameha is actually pretty clean. So unless they go the Dokkan original animation route, I doubt we're going to see it in game. Instead, what I might expect to see here is maybe like a Goku and Gohan with the Bye Guys Goku instead, right? We don't have that yet in game with proper animation. So I could see them doing something like that for that portion of it. With the second portion being obviously the Cell. Hopefully a perfect Cell, not a Cell perfect form, right? We've had enough of those. We need just straight up perfect Cell. Because, right, we keep getting all the other iterations, and the only perfect Cell variation is this one right here. So I would hope to see that. Now, with that said, that brings us to our final bit. And this is where things get tricky, right? Because for Buu Saga, I don't think we're going to tackle Vegito here, right? We got Vegito for 10th anniversary. I do think we'll tackle somewhere else, and that is the end of the arc with Goku versus Kid Buu. Another thing that leads into this, and I didn't really talk about it, but right, these guys should return during this. This would be This would be the part where they return. They usually return in the October banner, but returning here would make a lot of sense too during the campaign, especially to tie in with the Boo Saga banner. Now, for the Boo Saga side of things, right, we already got the major Spirit Bomb for that, so I doubt we will see that. I doubt we'll see anything like this, right? Like, I know a lot of people are like, hey, let's get Tag Goku and Vegeta versus Kid Buu, but I don't think we're going to see that because we already got the Join Forces variant. Instead, what I think we might see instead is just straight up Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Like, imagine a Super Saiyan 3 Goku with the entrance being that scream into transforming Super Saiyan, or even with the rock, paper, scissors, right? It would be kind of cool. But I do think that's it, or even just a stand up, straight up, straight up Spirit Bomb Goku as the LR, right? Both of these could work, I think. I do think they will touch on the Spirit Bomb in the same way that the 11th anniversary redid the GT Universal Spirit Bomb, even though the GT Duo did EZA. So I can imagine them doing something like that. But I don't think we're really concerned with who the super side is going to be, right? Whoever it's going to be a Goku, and it's going to be great, right? I think we're really concerned with who the part 2 is, or who their connecting villain is going to be, and that is obviously the Kid Buu, right? We know there's some rumors that the animations have been seen for him from those people who win. We also know that people have been wanting this for a very long time, so I can definitely see them doing this here as the final LR, especially after they kind of teased us about it last year. The producers did. So just drop them, get them out of the way. Let's see it. Let's get that LR Kid Buu in game, who could probably just bring along AGL Super Buu as his EZA, right? There's a ton of EZAs, right? Oh, on the Cell Saga thing, I forgot to mention, right? They could EZA these guys and Super Trunks as well here, right? So we've got enough EZAs to fill a campaign that would touch this. And I think it makes the most sense. Like, if we want to go big for a 400 million download celebration, why not? Let's tackle the major arcs. We know TOP's out, we know GT's out, so Future Saga, right, probably not going to be touched, given that it was last year and none of their EZAs are really in line. So this would be a really good way, and the best way to tie it all together is to focus on the fated battles of Z, right? Or maybe Z heroes versus Z villains. I've seen a lot of people talking about that structure, but I think this is structured. Now, there are some things that may introduce a different theory, and which I'll talk about later. But I do think I'll make another video on the other theory, because they're also setting up another category, which kind of concerns me that this theory might mean nothing. But I did want to break down that this is the leading theory. There's some evidence to support it, and I wanted to make sure I got this out to you guys. I've been working on trying to compile all of this to get my thoughts together for you guys over the weekend, and so hopefully you guys do appreciate this, and let us know what you think in the comments down below. So guys, that's it for the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, like I said, let us know what you think of this theory. Do you think the Arcs of Z is a possibility for GDC? Do you think that's big enough to carry the hype for a $400 million celebration? Or are you expecting something more, right? Are you one of those people who is expecting a Gogeta Blue, which is also another theory I have, but we'll get into that one in another video. Let us know in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.